Story 1, The Club Blackout. My name, Ethan, and this happened last summer during a 4th of July weekend. My best friend, Lucas, is deep in the EDM scene along the East Coast, mostly in Philly and New York. He and his crew have made a name for themselves in just a couple of years, throwing massive events at top-tier clubs with big-name DJs. I'm not super into that world, but Lucas hooks me and our friends up with free entry and VIP access, which is awesome, and I'm grateful for it. Last year, he invited me to their biggest event yet at a waterfront club in Atlantic City. I jumped at the chance and drove down early with our friend Noah. We got to the venue hours before it opened, and while Lucas set up, Noah and I hit the free drinks hard. By the time the first DJ started, we were already buzzing. It was a holiday weekend, so we leaned into it, getting sloppier than I've been in years. We're not lightweights, but our decision-making was shot. As the night wound down, it was that time where you figure out your ride home or who you're leaving with. Lucas had an Airbnb nearby, so we were set for a place to crash. The focus was on finding company. At the bar, we met two women, Sophia and Alina, who seemed into us. They were sharp, dressed like they had money, and suggested we keep the party going at their place, a condo right on the boardwalk. They handed us drinks, saying we needed to catch up, even though we were already trashed. It felt a bit odd, but we didn't question it. We left the club walking along the beach, their place just a short stroll away. They were easy to talk to, not just club chatter but real conversation. Books, travel, stuff you don't expect at 2:00 a.m. I felt almost embarrassed for slurring my words. Then things got weird. I started feeling heavier, like my body was sinking. My legs felt weak, my vision blurred, and moving was like wading through mud. Noah looked off too, but the feeling passed quickly and I chalked it up to the alcohol. Their condo was unreal, sleek, modern, with art pieces that looked like they belonged in a gallery. It was minimal but screamed wealth. Noah and Alina slipped off somewhere in the place, leaving me with Sophia. She leaned in close, and that's where my memory cuts out. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in a ditch off a rural road, sun blazing overhead, over an hour from Atlantic City. I'm in someone else's clothes, random jeans and a shirt not Noah's. My phone, wallet, and keys are gone. My shoes are soaked, laces missing, but I don't smell like the ocean. My head's pounding like I'd been sedated. I don't black out often, but when I do, I get fragments of memory. This was different, a total void. Worse, my phone had texts I didn't send. One to Lucas saying we crashed at a friend's, one to my sister about chilling at home, even one to a coworker. They sounded like me but made no sense together. I stumbled to a nearby gas station, borrowed the clerk's phone, and called my brother, the only number I knew by heart. I tried Noah's number, no answer. Just as I'm about to call the police, Noah walks in looking as rough as me, in stranger's clothes, same story. We called the cops, who seemed skeptical, suggesting we just drank too much. My brother tracked my phone to a parking lot nearby, and the police found our phones there, dumped together. They brushed it off as us losing them while drunk, ignoring that we were an hour away with no car. We pushed for them to check the condo, but they refused, saying we were too wasted to be reliable. Lucas picked us up, freaking out, thinking we'd been hurt. Our cards hadn't been used, which made no sense if it was a robbery. We drove back to the boardwalk, found the condo, and an older couple answered, saying no one named Sophia or Alina lived there. They owned it, used it for rentals. Lucas thinks we were targeted, but we approached them. Why drug us, steal our stuff, swap our clothes, and dump us an hour away without using our cards. We checked for cuts, half joking about organ harvesting, but found nothing. I haven't been to a club since. Every drink I take, I watch like a hawk, wondering what happened in those missing hours. Story 2: The Car in the Dark. I'm Kayla from South Carolina near the Georgia line. A couple of summers ago, I drove to a small town in Georgia for a 4th of July barbecue at my friend Mia's place. It was a great night. Grilled food, fireworks, kids with sparklers, the whole vibe. I stayed late, leaving around 10:30 p.m., which was my first mistake. The drive home was 2 hours, mostly dark back roads with endless trees and the occasional farmhouse or church. I had my music on low, still buzzing from the party, but I've always been uneasy driving alone at night, especially in such isolated areas. About 20 minutes in, I noticed headlights in my rear view, a black Ford Focus caked in dirt like it had been off-roading. I didn't think much of it at first, but it stuck with me, always 5 or 6 car lengths back, matching my speed exactly. I tested it, speeding up to 60 mph, then slowing to 40. They stayed glued to me. I signaled to let them pass, hugging the shoulder, but they didn't budge. My gut started twisting. This wasn't normal. I took a random right onto a narrow road with a few scattered houses, sure they wouldn't follow. They did. My heart was racing. I knew they were tailing me. These roads were empty, no help in sight. Then my gas light pinged. My old 2010 Civic doesn't give much warning, maybe 15 miles if I'm lucky. I checked my phone for the nearest 24-hour gas station, 7 miles away. I didn't want to call the police yet. It felt like admitting I was in real danger, and out here, response times are slow. The needle hit empty and panic set in. Every creak of the car felt louder, every shadow darker. By some miracle, I saw the gas stations glow ahead. I whipped into the lot, jumped out, and ran inside, barely closing my door. Through the window, I saw the Focus pause at the lot's edge, idling for maybe 15 seconds, then speed off. I told the clerk, who offered to call the police. I was shaken but didn't think they'd do much. I filled up, got home, and swore off night drives on back roads. Weeks later, I was watching local news when a story aired about a string of carjackings and assaults in rural Georgia. They showed grainy footage of a suspect in a stolen black Ford Focus, last seen heading toward South Carolina. My stomach dropped. It had to be the same car. I called the police, gave them my story, but they couldn't confirm it was the same vehicle. I still kick myself for not calling sooner. That night's fear lingers, and I avoid driving alone after dark, always checking my rear view for headlights that don't pass.